The 27th running of Motul Petit Le Mans, a record crowd, a record starting grid. You know what that means? It means action on the racetrack. Lights out on the pace car. He is pulled away. He's left the field to their own devices. The red and white number 31, the Cadillac from Action Express Racing. Jack Aiken on the pole in WeatherTech 4, his first time. Fourth pole of the season for the 31. Are you ready? Here we go.
What a jump there by Jake Aiken on pole setter in the red and white wheel and engineering machine. He goes to the front. BMW, a big move to the inside. Connor De Filippi takes second place away from our championship leading car of Matt Campbell.
Split start, prototypes first, then GT.
Touch going up into the S's here. Phil Hansen aboard that bright yellow machine, middle of the pack, coming down the hill right now. Looked like Nick Tandy got under his tail there as the GT field spreads its wings.
Lauren Heinrich with a great jump in the 77 Porsche, but Corvette Racing. The two yellow Corvettes are on the hunt early.
Good battle going on here in our second prototype class. This is LMP2. You'll notice the blue number plates on these race cars to distinguish them from the GTP cars. This is a battle for second right now. Stephen Thomas leads that little battle. Behind him is our championship leading car, Nick Bill, behind the wheel right now.
On the 01 Cadillac on pit road, problems there. We talked about the warning earlier for powertrain, so Series working with the team to get these issues sorted.
Car on the in the gravel. Let's go back to you guys.
We're talking about full course cautions. Guess what? We're going to have one. Scott Andrews talking about how well that car was running earlier, mired in the gravel. That's at the exit of turn 5. This will bring out a full course caution. The question is, did he get there on his own or did he have help?
Well, we talk about the overlap in traffic. You're going to have that all day long. There's a tricky brake zone down there as we see some of the cars responding here.
Back to green at the Petit Le Mans as GTP is wound up, and a couple cars that didn't pit, namely the number 40 with Jordan Taylor Acura Cal. He's at the front. Clean air for Jordan for a few laps.
Yeah, let's see how that affects their performance. You talk about tire degradation when you're running in that dirty air, as we call it, with the car immediately in front of you, taking the air off the nose of these race cars that really depend on that to pin the nose of these cars through the corners. That can create some imbalance in the race car and work those tires over a little bit more. So they're just going to try and get a read here, see what the efficiency is with this. I think it's the number 1, the Paul Miller Racing Machine. Madison Snow behind the wheel. He got help there from the Pfaff McLaren. That's down in the brake zone for turn 10.
I don't know how much help he had because the number 9 was defending at the inside, Calvin, and it was a pretty bold move from Madison Snow to try to work the outside there. Just kind of ran out of brake zone, I think. That's Ben Keating with a rear wing that has absolutely departed the vehicle. And I think that's in turn 6, yeah.
High speed corner. You really whistle through there in one of these P2 machines. Mid-corner speed, and the 4 cars involved as well. We talk about Corvette Racing not having won this race right in 2010.
Oh no, Ben, hang on here. This is a live shot, almost lost it.
Look at the left rear. It's completely towed out and broken.
I wonder if the Corvette got into the back of him or vice versa, because the Corvette, I believe, also has suspension damage. This is...
At first, I thought maybe he had just wiped off the rear valance in the wing, and that's a part that can be replaced. But obviously, it's more than that, and it looks to me like the right rear on the Corvette is askew as well. And a problem for the 77, that is the championship leader.
The car is low, a little bit of bodywork rub possibly. When you get these restarts, it can be chaotic. Maybe got a little bump there in traffic.
Is the right rear down, or is it askew?
Suddenly slowed, but I definitely saw some tire rub there, I thought.
And remember that the 77, I believe, just has to finish 6th or better. Just. But drama always possible. And they're competing with Aston Martin Heart of Racing.
Back up to speed again, Townsend. It looks like, or sounds like, certainly from the onboard.
Let's listen to the replay and find out what happened.
Stuck in gear.
Yeah.
get it to shift initially. I think he was stuck in third gear, and finally it releases.
Brian, he's telling them it's stuck in third, now it's in fourth, and he's telling them as he's shifting where it is sticking on the 77 car. You can just hear the emotion in his voice. What a season they have had coming into this event. They just wanted to close out this championship with a nice celebration and not a lot of drama, but we certainly are full of it now.
Certainly opens up the door for the 023 to make a move in that championship hunt. But up front, we've got 4 different manufacturers in the first 4 places in this motor race, led by Acura right now. Here we go. Aiken has a run on Jordan Taylor. Gets to his flank, but he's on the outside as they get down into the brake zone. Jordan Taylor on the inside, the preferred line, but there's more grip on the outside. Aiken takes it in deep, slides across and gets to the lead.
2 teams trophy hunting right now.
And a veteran move from Jordan Taylor, knowing 8.5 hours left to go. Don't push it. Don't try to contest the position too much. But Matt, first we've got to spin the 66.
Sheena Monk behind the wheel. Oh, in thick traffic there, just got out in the gray, maybe on the marbles that are already developing there, and just loses the tail. Looked like she might have got away with it. Hopefully she can get some fire in the belly of the Acura as we go full course yellow.
Such a dangerous place to be, especially when you have a gaggle of cars coming over that blind crest, diving down in. She's got it refired and underway. I can tell you what else is fantastic, that full course caution, not for everybody else, but for this team and this driver. That full course caution may have saved Lauren Heinrich.
Check this out right now as you look at the scenarios and the current points. Ross Gunn actually leads GTD Pro as they run right now. This is a disaster for Heinrich and AO Racing. They came in thinking 6 or better. Well, they're well outside of it, and who knows if the car is good to go to the finish at this point.
That's the real key. He pulled over at the side of the road in turn 7, did a reset. Is the car healthy to get ready for green flag action once again?
But that yellow kept him from going a lap down. We'll have to wait and see. Drama in Petit, it's always here as we are back to green.
That was a pass for position, I believe, on the number 23 Aston Martin. So what does that do for the points as they cross the line? That puts Gunn back to second, Cal?
I think they'd flip-flopped on that lap times. I think last time across the stripe, Kirkwood did have the lead, and I think D'Angelo's had momentarily got by him. Kirkwood returned the favor there into that brake zone.
Right on board here with Ollie Jarvis. This was the car that was side by side with Sheena Monk that caused the last yellow right in this section. While the 77 here with Andlauer now back behind the wheel is back up to 9th. Matt, in order to win this championship, they're going to have to earn it today, but they're picking them off one at a time.
Currently, as points run, they've dropped out of the championship lead. The problem, they haven't completely diagnosed the issue. It's intermittent. Sometimes it just gets stuck in a gear, but especially on the right-handers. They've told him just to try to stay in 4th if he can, especially on the right-handers, to keep up the speed. But if we get a long caution, look for them to pit, possibly change to the steering wheel. Not sure. They're going through a different checklist of things that it might be, but problems here on the 77. What a day. You can just feel the intensity here in the pit.
We're down here chatting with James Hinchcliffe about doing double duty today, TV and driving. So we were just admiring this traffic, and as a guy who doesn't race all the time anymore, what is it like for you just adjusting your brain to the chaos that is this when you just jump back in the car kind of sporadically?
Yeah, I mean, to borrow a phrase, my old buddy Ryan Hunter Ray, it's like drinking from a fire hose, you know, when you get dumped into this place. I haven't raced here since 2008, haven't driven the car since March, and never done Petit Le Mans, so it's definitely a big challenge. Jar's doing a great job out there right now. We were just talking about how the way that cycled through with all the GTDs ahead of the pros, it created a bunch of chaos out there. It's fun to watch, but it's a little nerve-wracking now also having to do the driving side.
So are you doing double duty today? Do we get to hear you more on our broadcast later?
Yeah, I think unfortunately you're going to be stuck hearing me a little bit later, but I've got to do the day job first, and then I'll come join you guys in a bit.
All right, I'm being told 7 o'clock is your call time upstairs, so we'll see you then.
All right, yeah, yellow's pending. We'll be there around then.
All right, good luck. Hinch is jumping in the FAF Motorsports 9 McLaren here in just a little bit. They run 3rd in GTD Pro right now.
Mick Grenier aboard the number 32 Mercedes has his hands full. That car not working well. Just absolutely swarmed in turn 7, the slowest corner on the racetrack. He is moving to the back of this pack as the GTP leaders coming through.
Well, they certainly had a less than desirable situation on their hands. This is the left rear off the 32 car. Michelin Tire Tech guy is working on it and examining it right now. But it basically, a strip of it basically delaminated and came down to the cord. So tire wear has been a concern for several teams in the GT ranks this weekend. This is as bad as I've seen. We don't normally see the Michelins wear out quite this much, but this one definitely wore out on the 32.
Very unusual indeed. And watch this, it's going to happen now with the Porsche having a run on the 31 Cadillac.
It's the Proton Porsche, the Mustang sampling, black and gold machine, screen left, side by side with the Cadillac. They plunge down the hill, 185 miles an hour plus as they go to the brake pedal.
Meanwhile, Penske Porsche side by side in the brake zone behind, and I think the 6 of Nick Tandy got ahead of his teammate.
Oh, and he gets a run on Aiken as well.
Absolutely, and this is the way it's going to be all race long. You use that traffic, sometimes it works for you, sometimes it gets you big block down the front straightaway.
But oh, the 74 backwards with Gar Robinson.
Is that turn 7?
That's where Merriman dropped it a couple of times, I believe.
Interesting,
Yellows
yeah.
out local.
That was smart. We were talking earlier about getting the car flipped and turned on the pavement with hot tires. He drove it into the grass where he knew there was very little grip, able to spin it around, back underway.
Spends a lot of time on a ranch in Texas.
Yes.
Probably some skills developed on the dirt there, as yeah, looks just like what happened to Merriman. So you'll get a lot more chances as we take a replay of the incident between the GTD and the P2 car. Remember what I just said about not being sure if the GT car knows you're there? That was a perfect demonstration. And you're talking about 8 different layers, and here's what it looks like when it doesn't go quite right. The tear off for the McLaren not looking good, nor is the handling. I don't know if that's marbles on the tires from getting
He's got a cut tire.
Left rear's going down.
Wrong place to have that issue, just past the pit end. He's got 2.5 miles to go on a left rear Michelin.
And where we always see this becoming an issue is tearing up the bodywork. As you see the contact with the 47, I think that's Lacourt. He has had a hugely dramatic stint. He spun earlier. That cut down the McLaren tire, and it'll be a miracle if he can do the 2 miles without that thing totally coming apart.
For Marvin Kirchhoff, he's already lost a lap as he limped back around on that Michelin to get to pit lane. You've got time to make laps back up.
Let's see how this one develops.
Oh, just got a little wide there on the curb before turning in for the downhill. Oh my goodness, talk about good fortune to keep that thing out of the tires. Are you kidding?
Time to buy lottery tickets because you were definitely a winner then.
Oh, big drama here for the 14 car.
That is the GTD Pro Lexus with Ben Barnicoat behind the wheel. Exit of turn 7. You can see some steam coming out from the engine bay. So let's listen. No damage, Kevin, seemingly to at least the left side corners, front and rear. That car looks pristine from a bodywork standpoint. The right sides look okay, but we'll ride on board and see if we can figure out what happened. See the moisture coming on the camera lens.
Does not sound good.
Sounds driveline.
So looking at survival and the traffic, is it a lot like rush hour in Orlando in the Fairbanks turn?
Yeah, a little bit. Thankfully, everyone's going the same direction here. No one's texting and driving, but yeah, it's pretty hectic. Depending on what kind of tire strategy you're on or fuel level you're on, you're either at the front or the back, and once you hit the traffic, kind of anything can happen. So I think the name of the game right now is to stay out of trouble, keep the car in one piece, and hopefully, you know, come nightfall, we have a strong car in a strong position.
Good luck. The comers and goers, he and his team car, they're about 13 laps different on strategy, trying to work 2 different game plans for one cause.
Oh, one of the BMWs gets turned. The 31 car in the same shot there. Were they together? They're running together on the racetrack. Blomqvist behind the wheel of the 31 and Jesse Krohn behind the wheel of this 24 BMW.
Oh, the contact again. The 01 Ganassi got clipped. That's Van der Zande. Hopefully the left rear's okay as he goes into the fastest part of the track. Looks like he's just fine as he makes a move on the 63, the Lamborghini in turn 1.
They don't need any more delays. They're still 1 lap down due to that technical issue they had with the torque sensor earlier in this race and making unscheduled pit stops here. They've got a fast race car, but definitely on the back foot.
What happened?
Backdrop there. Oh, a little lock up from Blomqvist.
That'll
he
be
may get a call on that one.
That'll be an easy call for race control. Another view, tails away.
A little bit in no man's land. You don't have the grip there at the inside. The rubbered in line on the right-hand side gives you more grip into that brake zone. He just kind of half-heartedly committed and then couldn't get it woed down.
It looked like he wanted to back out and then locked up at the critical moment and just clipped the back.
This is Lilu Wadu. First of all, welcome back. We haven't seen you since Watkins Glen at IMSA, the race that you won, of course. How are you finding the traffic and the track here at Petit Le Mans?
Yeah, the track is really nice. Honestly, with the P2 is amazing. The sector 1 with the S is really hard. But yeah, the traffic is not easy. We need to be careful and finish the race. So it's the worst for me, the traffic. And yeah, sometimes it's close to the crash, and we need to be careful to that. It's 6 hours, so we have time to push. And for the moment, the target is that stay on track, and we will see later.
Nicholas is in the car now. What could you tell him about what to expect from the performance of the car in the heat of the day?
Yeah, like I said before, is stay on track, keep this pace, and stay on the five. I think it's the best for the finish, and we will try to do this job until the 2 hours of the end, and we will see.
Thank you very much.
Well, thanks, Kevin. The Porsche Penske sit 1-2 right now. Let's talk to Mathieu Jaminet. We were just talking about your stint, how you were able to work your way through the field. So simply enough, how were you able to do that?
Yeah, tough. I mean, we had a tough start because Nick had a small, very small contact that made us do a nose change. So we started at the back, but then yeah, I think we were pretty smart on the energy saving. Yeah, spent pretty much 2 stints having really good energy saving, and yeah, when I was traffic, I could pull some moves and move up the order. And then yeah, we're actually at some point in the lead, but then yeah, I was on old tires, 7 was on new tires, so we did the swap, but running first and second, so yeah, good start to the race so far.
The nose change at the beginning was incredibly fast. What does that say about the teamwork of this team?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this year that there's been quite some contacts in IMSA, and our team has been really on it on nose and tail change when sometimes you get hit, and yeah, we didn't lose too much time. I almost made it back to the queue before the race restarted, but yeah, the team did an awesome job there. So yeah, really proud of the boys.
Now, we were just talking about the fact that you were in the car for about an hour and 45 minutes, but this sun is beating down, and we're not complaining because it's beautiful weather, but it gets physical in there. What does it feel like inside of the car after an hour and 45 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough out there. I mean, this track doesn't have really a lot of straights, so you can really cool down anytime or take your breath, you know, and the traffic is just so mad out there with 50 plus cars, and this prototypes goes bloody fast, so yeah, it's tough mentally and it's tough physically, so now yeah, I'll have a nice break, get some food, get a drink, and maybe a little massage, and then get ready to go back in later on.
It's no easy feat. Thank you, Mathieu.
Yeah,
Porsche Penske 1-2 right now.
And the 22 is into the barrier. Bajoy Garg, and so we just saw another United Autosports car, and then the sister car was trying to get to pit lane, which is very difficult here. Speak to that, Colin. How
yeah, I mean, it's
that could
tough.
be down that hill.
Obviously, we see him just carry a little bit too much speed, slide off into the grass, hit the attenuator there. It's a tough pit entry over that blind hill. You've got to stay to the right-hand side, try to get on, you know, as much speed up as we can, and the pit lane speed limit doesn't start until past where this corner worker's standing. So you can carry as much speed over the crest down into pit lane to get down to that pit lane speed limit. So just a bit too much.
Well, we've got a restart coming up. They've swept the track. Let's go again. Season finale, Motul Petit Le Mans. It's Porsche, 3 of the top 4. There's an Acura in the mix as well.
Matteo Caroli. Oh, and a problem for the 52.
And that's the championship leader
Yes,
in
it is.
LMP2 that just needed to finish up front.
All right, I'm here with Lauren Heinrich, driver of the 77 AO Racing entry right now, 16 points back. I don't think we ever got a definite word on what the issue was with the 77. What was it?
Yeah, first of all, very unfortunate. A cable broke, we couldn't upshift anymore, and then obviously being stuck in second, third, or fourth gear around the lap, yeah, you break the rest of the car and you lose a lot of time. So first we had to try to locate the issue and then try to fix it, and that took just too long, and yeah, to be honest, it's a nightmare. It's the worst. What could happen? We just needed to finish somewhere in the front and just not retire. So I still hope I wake up from this nightmare, but I doubt that will happen. So yeah, it's not over until it's over. But I think we just have to get through it and get the race done. I mean, yeah.
You said you will most likely have one more stint in the car. What can you and the team do to minimize this gap?
Well, we are 5 laps down, so I mean I can push the throttle as hard as I want. I felt at one with the car in the first stint. I made a gap on the rest of the field. I was the fastest, and yeah, now we're just 5 laps down and driving around to hope that it comes towards us. It's just, yeah, we can do nothing, to be honest.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you.
22-year-old from Germany.
Look.
He got pinched. He got pinched a little bit by Tandy.
And Tandy almost certainly will see that reviewed by race control. I don't know if that'll be enough to warrant a penalty.
It's
but
tough.
They always put the responsibility on the overtaking driver, and in this case, yeah, vibration drive, a blissful 4.5 hours, but not for the 027. The supporting roll Aston Martin for Harder Racing just gets in around the pit entry cone. So something, God, we've seen a lot of cars go off on pit entrance here.
I would assume he just overcharged the entry there and got the left sides in the grass, probably.
We've seen this, like I said, a couple of times so far today.
Oh, he gets turned.
Yeah,
Corvette gets in the back of him. Not sure if he'd slowed to get to pit lane and that caught the Corvette out, or whether he just elected after being turned, I'm going to head to pit lane, make sure I don't have damage. I would have thought if he wasn't on a pit cycle to come in, that he would have stayed out there. So I think he just slowed and the Corvette got caught unawares by that and tailed him.
Got a drive-through penalty, and now the heat picks up in GTP. Brendan Hartley, the number 10 Wayne Taylor Acura, just passed for the lead over Dane Cameron, and the Penske's are side by side in the downhill.
Tandy took an advantage there of Cameron, a little bit slow off the second part of that chicane. Didn't get the momentum, and Hartley came down the inside. Acura to the front.
Closing down on 4 hours to go from Motul Petit Le Mans, one of the most challenging endurance sports car races in all the world. As the sun beginning to set behind the Georgia hills, and in the nighttime, the crazy comes out. It is going to get wild. Mercedes being one of the better cars out there in the GT categories as a 77. Ferrari going wheel to wheel down the back straightaway.
They just touched. These guys are having a disagreement over real estate, rubbing on each other at 150 miles an hour.
Yeah, Greedy behind the wheel. You know him well if you won a Rolex together, right?
We did indeed. This guy is not going to get pushed around without fighting back. The 77 sticking it to him.
I believe that this beautiful weather that we have is not working in the favor of AO Racing in the 77. We haven't had rain to deal with. That's kept yellows away. We haven't had a lot of contact on the racetrack. Last year we had 13 yellows. In 2022, 9. 2021, 10. In 26, you have to go back to 2019 to have 4 yellows, and that's where we are right now. And Calvin, you just alluded to it. You've got to have yellow flags to get your lap back. You can't do it with speed alone.
Yeah, and right now with the 77 car running in 11th, that means that the 23 cars that finish first or second, third would not be enough.
They always are. Andrea Caldarelli behind the wheel right now, but Romain Grosjean is one of the teammates of this race car, and this is your first Petit Le Mans. So what do you think of this this whole experience so far?
It's not enough yellow for us, yeah. As of now, we're 4 laps down, sadly, but Andrea has been doing 2 stints that are absolutely amazing. Such a great teammate to have, and I think we're gonna get into happy hour soon, but we do need some caution to be able to come back. I don't know why the Porsche 7 stayed out early. I guess they didn't want anyone to get their lap back, which is a bit of an interesting strategy. I was not very happy with it, but it's the way it is. So just pitting now, Coyote's going out, and then I'll do the last 2 stints.
You guys haven't raced a ton, obviously, this year, just the endurance races, but this Lamborghini program from the Rolex 24 to now, where has it grown? Where are the strengths of it now?
I think there's a lot of positive. There's a lot of work ahead of us as well. You know, the WEC, the track are very flat and the curves are non-existent. And you come to America, and it's a different story. I'm not saying which one is better, but I love it down here. So, you know, track like Road Atlanta, like Sebring, even Daytona is bumpy. We need to get better on the bumps, and we knew it was going to be a tough weekend. But again, looking at those last 2 stints from Caldarelli, absolutely stunning.
Will you get to run in the dark at all?
Yeah, I did a little bit on practice, and I'll find out later.
So what did you think about that, and what do you anticipate in the race?
I think the tires, you can push them a little bit more, which is nice, you know, from the day. For us, it's kind of easier for the GT to understand which way we're going, but it's also tricky because you lose some references. So I'm looking forward to it.
All right, great to have Romain Grosjean with us, as always, here in IMSA, the 63 car completing their service right now on pit road.
At Ricky Taylor on that last run to the finish, this sizes up for a little bit of Uncle Max to come out and you chasing that trophy.
Yeah, it feels weird not being in the championship fight here at Petit Le Mans this year, but we're in a great position. The 10 car running well. Brendan did an amazing job. We shadowed the 6 car on that last stop, and so there's a couple different, I feel like, energy positions that people have. Philippe's controlling that about 5-6 second lead, so hopefully there's no fireworks until the checkered flag. But this race is always so crazy. I just hope we're in the fight to the end.
Your dad told me that for, you know, years and years, you're always with that championship pressure on your shoulders. Can you pull it off here? And this is almost old school racing. Just coming here for the trophy, he said, it's really kind of fun. I don't ever want to do it again like this, but he says it's really kind of fun. It takes you back to really why you started racing, the love of the game, so to speak.
Yeah, it's as frustrating as it is not to be in the championship fight. It's refreshing just to show up here and race the race and not worry about watching certain cars, just focus on winning the race itself. It's been such a tough last 4 years, 5 years of trying to win this one in the last hour. First 2 years it was me finishing. Philippe took 2 tries at it. It's my turn again, so hopefully it's our year.
All right, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Always a smile, Ricky Taylor.
The number 4 is many, many laps down after being involved and just collected in contact earlier. The second Wayne Taylor car is in, Dylan.
And it looked like they maybe had a left rear headlight out as well, or tail light out on that car as it sits in the pit stall. Colton Herta will vacate this Wayne Taylor racing car, and Louis Delatraz will climb aboard. Remember, this group also had a flat left rear that had to force them to pit road for an unscheduled stop. So they've been on the rebound from that, just trying to salvage what they can here, running inside the top 5. And in fact, they pitted from 5th there.
And the taillight definitely out on the left side of that Acura, and the officials down there looking at it, and I'm not sure if they're talking about it right now or not. You need operational headlights and taillights, but it can become a judgment issue for race control and say, is this something that is affecting the safety of the car? And if they deem it to be, then they'll tell them they'll have to fix it or attempt to fix it on the next pit stop. We'll have to wait and see. Glowing exhaust pipe in there just gives you an idea of just how hot everything is. And look, cold tires out of the pit lane, locks the right front, can't get the car to turn. Thank goodness that motorcycle chicane is there, just straight across the grass and go. But we talked about this. These outlaps in the darkness with these new tires, cold tires, are absolutely treacherous.
On the 99 there, on Spike.
Off the right front, it almost looks like the right front is either completely locked up. I don't think that's the case, or it wouldn't steer very well, or perhaps a wheel bearing issue. But big time smoke, that looks like it's coming off the rotor, and so I'm not sure if it's got a hub issue and that's grease that's really super hot or what.
Look at the door open for Paul-Loup Chaton. They are 2 laps down in LMP2, the AO Racing car is in, Matt. What can you see?
Smoke everywhere, the door's out. You can see him waving, trying to get that smell out of the cockpit. They can't get the wheel off yet. The wheel is, finally they break it free. And they're going to look at that hub and see if it is indeed locked up. They're all pointing to it. The team thought that something was amiss with the hub or with the tire. When they finally changed the tire, they pulled a piece of carbon fiber debris which had jammed into that wheel. That's why that right front wasn't rolling. There was a little bit of damage to the tire, but it still had pressure.
We are, by the way, inside what is a traditional length race. 2 hours and 40 minutes is the length of what you call a sprint race, but just the normal races outside of the endurance races. So this is far from over right now.
And this is what I love about these races, is you can have so much happen to you in those first really 8 hours of the race, but you make it to this point. We think about how much happens in a normal sprint race. Sometimes we see fields get completely twisted, turned upside down. There's so many different variables in just a normal 2 hour and 40-minute race that you can get to this point having had a little bit of issue, having some trouble, and still know that you're in with a shot. And so especially any car that's only a lap down, even 2 laps down at this point, you are far from out of it. Take a look at what happened there. Yeah, just got it a little bit hot. Maybe a tiny bit of contact there with the 74. But it's just that time of night, Kev. Let's take a replay here. This will be Renger. I think he just loses it on his own there.
Did he get help from behind, or did he just lose it? Probably. I don't see that GTD car getting to him.
So it's a bit wide at 6. That is a weird one. That went around on him very quickly.
Okay, he was on an out lap. He had just pitted, so that explains it. He pitted 2 minutes ago, so those were cold tires. And this is the Ferrari.
Through the S's, so easy to do, especially with traffic coming through.
Nick Tandy would love to have a chance to finish up the season with a win with Mathieu Jaminet and Kevin Estre. Watch that.
Yeah, so they crossed the stripe. Ricky was just in front, and he just got balked a little bit through that really high-speed turn, and Tandy had the perfect run through the downhill and makes the move. Was tight as he comes down the front straightaway there, and then he leans on Ricky as he turns into turn 1. Take a look at it from Ricky's angle. Tandy just didn't want to be right down in the gray there on the inside, entering that high-speed corner. Minimum speed through this about $1:45.
Every time I ride on board down into turn 10 or through the S's and they're caught up in traffic like this, I feel like you're a 0.5 second away, a mistake away from changing the complexion of this race with a full course caution. This into 120, almost into the left front.
Just watch how Ricky Taylor navigates more madness here.
Well, we just saw the 10-car Ricky Taylor behind the wheel right now. Philippe Albuquerque, one of the teammates, and done for the day with Ricky, I believe, set to finish. So what do you think of the position you're in? Couple more pit stops left, and anything can happen. You guys know that better than anybody on this car.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tradition by now. We are always fighting for the win in here in Petit Le Mans. And it's going to go down to the last pit stops. It's pretty cold now, so it's going to be a lot to do with the last pit stops and how we are dealing with the cold tires on the out lap. We're taking risks, and it can give us away from the hands anytime because we lock. It's easy to lock. It's tricky to go through Petit on the downhill with cold tires. But again, we have nothing to lose. I think Porsche is having fun because they got the title already, so they're pushing as well to finish on a big high. And it's going to be it's going to be interesting. So I don't know. I'm just rooting so bad for Ricky and for us. I just want to win this race somehow. I mean, it's been like 80 years or something.
It probably feels that way. We talked yesterday about how this Wayne Taylor group is always in the fight at the end of this race. How do you guys do it consistently year after year? Even though the win has eluded you, you are always in contention.
That's a good question. I don't know. To be honest, we just try to hit our marks. We've been doing perfect strategies. Everything has been great. I mean, we are fighting with a Porsche now with a lap ahead of everybody, so no yellows, which is kind of unique in Petit to go for so long, like 5 hours without yellows. So it's been a sprint race so far. So, but it's always dramatic, and one day will smile to us. I don't know if it's going to be this year. We're going to keep our head down and head on the job. Again, we know what we are doing. We have all experience. Brendan did a great job. Ricky's in it. This year it's Ricky time to go for a bang. Let's see.
All right, you heard it from Philippe. It's all Ricky Taylor to the end in the 10 car.
Moments ago, the 12 out of turn 7.
Oh, no.
Stopped on the racetrack.
The lead, maybe.
Who knows? Aaron Thielitz was doing a fantastic job, had clawed within 20 seconds of Spinelli. It was looking great because they did not have to take a full fill. They were at half tanks. They would take a full fill, but only require about 20 seconds of fuel. Not sure what might have gone wrong there.
Drama. We said the action comes out at night. It all goes crazy, and it has at Petit Le Mans. The 55, the Mustang GTD entry is involved. The 120 Porsche is involved, and I believe the number 10, the second place running GTP Acura from Wayne Taylor Racing with Ricky Taylor on board, I believe it is involved. It's already happened. You see cars checking up. Somebody slid wide. Oh, man. Truly frightening. We were talking about this earlier. You can't see headlights over the hill. You can't see a car that's there in the darkness. The 120 has made it back to the pits. Crew member on the left rear doing the slash across the throat. Suspension damage to the left rear. It's done.
Done.
10's done.
Look at the side pod for the 10. The rads are destroyed.
Day over.
Incredible.
Jan Halen, remember last year, his final hour ended in flames as his Porsche burned up. Dylan, the 10 coming to you, and it is limping.
And Ricky driving this car almost sounds like he's in disbelief. Wayne Taylor got off the pit box, marched away, I think just to collect himself, and he's since returned to the pit box. I don't think I don't think Ricky knows exactly how bad this damage is.
Let's take another look at some of the chaos here.
On board here with Ricky Taylor, coming through turn 5, cars out wide there, then suddenly right in front of him. Look at that.
I mean,
it's blind.
Why? Local yellow? That car's been sitting there for 20 seconds. No headlights to help out Ricky Taylor with the 55 backwards in the darkness. And that's I'm so glad both those drivers are okay. That Ricky Taylor can't believe it.
And it could be so much worse. Matt or Dylan?
And let's check in with Wayne Taylor, who is, of course, the team owner and just was watching these replays with us. Given where those cars were sitting, do you feel like that should have been a full course yellow?
Yeah, I mean, the car was stopped for a minimum of 20 to 30 seconds, and there was no lights on anywhere. And he came over the hill, and there was nowhere to go. I think he got actually lucky because it could have been a much bigger shunt. And I know he's feeling bad right now, but you know, the team did a great job all race, and it was going to come down to the wire, but I was not expecting anything like this. Every single event of the last 3 years, we've ended up in an accident at this track, and I just don't understand why they didn't put a yellow out.
Can you believe or just sum up your emotions of being in this situation again, it coming down to the wire and you guys being so close and something like this happening yet again?
We'll win it next year.
That's all you can do, right?
Yeah, that's what we're going to do next year.
Thanks, Wayne. How frightening was that for you to kind of come over the hill and ultimately have that sitting in your path?
I can't say that I've collected my thoughts yet. More than anything, I can't believe this race. Leading within half a second, we had the lead. Tandy had gone to the outside, going into 5, he was off. Within a half a second, we had the lead, and we were out. And I never saw the car sitting there. So I think lucky that it was a glancing blow and not a head-on. But yeah, this is the first time I've seen it. I never saw him. I don't know. It's been since 2018 with Acura, and starting in 2020, been fighting for the win within the last hour and a half, and sometimes it's been me, and today I was in the car, and I can't help but blame myself. It's been such a good relationship with Acura. Didn't want it to end this way, so thanks to all the guys, and on to next year.
You can see and hear the emotion for sure. Tough way to end it for the 10 team and Ricky Taylor.
Absolutely, but they're
nothing to blame on yourself.
I see no
there.
blame, no.
Zero whatsoever.
As he said, Tandy had just gone off the road in turn 5. That was the car immediately in front of him, and then he came up on that. So he just grabbed the lead, and suddenly the car's in front of him.
Half a second in the lead.
Looking for the green, racing again. 35 minutes to go from Petit Le Mans.
Past traffic, let's see what happened. Yes,
he got forced out wide. They both cut through the grass.
Was that Nasser and Egg?
That's the 7, yeah.
I believe it was. Another view.
Side by side, and the 7 pushed off there. We've seen that same incident multiple times today.
That is huge commitment by Felipe Nasr. That was a wink and a prayer. That was never going to work.
Trying to give chase to Tandy.
And that gets a lot harder for Van de Zandert as there's a GTD battle side by side. The 34 and this, is that the 78?
It is.
Contact.
That's the lead.
The 34 takes the lead.
Costa Balboa to the front inside of Spinelli. Spinelli tries to protect into turn 1. He's vulnerable right now for speed.
Still 4.9 seconds back of second place.
Does Gunn have the magic bullet here? He has caught Sarah, but Pepper has taken off a little bit up front in the Lamborghini to the tune of 4.5 seconds.
Yeah, he's 4.9 back of the leader, but 0.3 back from Daniel Serra. So it is on for Ross Gunn.
He can see it right there in front of him. He's closed in on the back of that Ferrari just in front, the 62. He needs that position.
He only needs that one position. He doesn't have to win this race. He just needs P2 with the 77 running deep in the pack.
He's there. 24 minutes to go.
DeAngelis and Riberas watch on. Hanging on every turn, every move, every bit of traffic.
In a beautiful rhythm right now. He's feeling it, Townsend.
He is. Now no traffic to impede either driver. Tandy's clear. Van der Zandert, this is his chance right here.
If they come out of this corner on the last lap with that distance, what's going to happen at 10?
Anything. Everything. How did this happen?
Look at Renger. Just surprises Tandy. Sends it down to the inside. Tandy didn't know he was coming. Did not defend that line, and Renger pounced.
And I think that was built off of what Renger experienced on the straightaway. As we take a look at it again, Renger knew he had to do it on the brake pedal, and he had to be opportunistic. A big chance. I don't even know if this was a big chance. It was a little chance with a big move.
The leader has no lights. This could be a problem, not just for visibility, but also legally. You got to have one headlight running at all times.
This is insane. Can you imagine what he's seen, if anything?
When he's out of traffic, the traffic will lead his way a little bit, but when he's running by himself, getting through high-speed S's is going to be a problem for Renger van der Zandert.
Well, certainly a black flag would be in order.
Gotta be. They can't see him coming. He's an invisible 190-mile-an-hour bullet. I cannot believe. They're
back on again.
Thank goodness. This is switch under the dash. That sounds like some kind of aftermarket
valet switch.
Yeah, for your exactly. Is that a secret switch? I've never heard of such a thing. And a tire lockup for the 01.
Lights are on though.
Both of them.
All of them.
Well, why didn't you tell me about the magic switch 10 laps ago? Now he's down to 1.
Can he hang on?
Can the lights stay on?
And why are the back lights blinking?
3 more laps to go. Renger through turn 6. 5 more corners to go to bring it home.
Chip Ganassi looking for their 67th IMSA win. It would be the 2nd win of this season. They had big championship hopes going in. For Sebastian Bourdais, it would be his 2nd Petit Le Mans win. The 1st for Scott Dixon if he does it. And the 4th win for Renger van der Zande. Can they hold on up the hill, underneath the bridge? They can coast from here. Cadillac Racing with Chip Ganassi. Renger van der Zande behind the wheel of the Cadillac. Win at Petit Le Mans. Unbelievable stuff. We say it every year. It never disappoints.
What a finish.
I mean, persistence, survival, brilliance, all of it factored in. Here comes Jensen.
Look at this, LMP2. Looking for the winner, GTD Pro, the 19. Flashing down the hill, looking for the win, the 11 as well. The 11's gonna take the win in LMP2. And Iron Lynx in GTD Pro. Where's my GTD battle?
Well, 2-second gap. Something must have gone wrong for Spinelli. He was 3/10 off the bumper of Balboa, but now a full 2 seconds as the Ferrari should be able to breathe easy with 1 more brake zone to go here.
Conquest Racing looking for their 4th IMSA win. For Sperzuali, it would be his 1st Petit Le Mans win in his 2nd start. Albert Costa Balboa behind the wheel, hammer down to the line, takes the win. 1st win for Costa Balboa in Petit Le Mans. And Manny Franco, man, what a career win for him here at Petit Le Mans. Big time celebration for Ferrari.
Balboa was amazing. To feel that heat for that long and never crack.
Look at this. They know it's over. And the 77 earlier in the day, when it looked so bad, when it looked like there was no way, 5 laps down, they stayed out. They stayed out, kept putting it down, doing the laps, and Lady Luck smiled upon them. Unbelievable stuff. And for that young man, Lauren Heinrich, it's his 1st WeatherTech championship, and he did it in his rookie season.
Incredible. He is an amazing talent. Just so much speed, so much passion. What an effort by Gunnar Jeanette, the whole AO Racing organization, backed by PJ Hart. Congrats to that whole group.
Pato O'Ward did it in his rookie season. Mikkel Jensen did as well. And now Lauren Heinrich joins a very elite group. But for Chip Ganassi with Cadillac Racing, huge celebrations. Perseverance pays off. They are winners at Petit Le Mans.